Memphis. Nothing but Memphis. Everywhere we go, it's Memphis.
Welcome to On the Bluff, a Bluff City Media audio podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Gabe Kuhn and Christian Fowler. Now, let's get to the show.
We are back. Gabe, what's up?
Man, hanging in there. Prep for the holidays,
Yeah,
prepped and ready to go.
Kenny and I are in the Christmas spirit because Kenny got this all decorated up, and if you can see,
Yes, we got lights. Oh. The timing of wearing that's pretty bold,
it's
too.
terrible. It was terrible timing.
Yeah, Jags.
If we would have beat the Jags, it'd be better.
Shout out Riley Patterson, though, with the game tire. No, game tire.
Game tire. You're right.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the game winner was a Rayshon Jenkins 52-yard pick six.
Did you see the game?
Unfortunately.
Did you see his stat line?
18 tackles.
18 tackles, two
picks, and a pick six in overtime. Yeah. Don't want to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Anyway,
all right, but you did wear the sweater, though.
I did wear the sweater. Gabe was
How much did it cost?
I don't know. It's my dad's. If we're being frank.
So it's like it's older, or is it?
No, it's not older.
Okay.
It's only a couple years old.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, Christian's dad. Gabe did not call you an old man.
Yeah. My dad's gonna watch this and be like, "What the heck, dude?"
Yeah, sorry. Apologies.
Yeah, all
I
good.
was just.
But no, it's not that old. But it's a little large for me because he's a larger man. Love you, pops, but you're a little. You got about 70 on me.
Are we just flaming your dad to start the pod?
he will love it.
Nice, great.
But anyways, we are a little bit in the Christmas spirit because we are less than a week from Christmas. Kind of crazy. It sneaks up every year. It's crazy, like how quickly Christmas comes. Like you look up and you're a week away from Christmas.
Shopping already done?
Yes, everything.
Okay.
Got everything done. And I don't have everything in yet. I think like the rest of my stuff will be in tomorrow, and then I just got to wrap.
I got most of it getting delivered this week. I'm also the type of guy though, and this is how my dad was growing up. Christmas Eve, go out real early and finish whatever you need to finish. That's what my dad did.
Yeah.
I sort of like I do that too. I'm a procrastinator during the holiday season.
So we know y'all's significant others don't actually watch this. They don't pay attention. What did y'all get? What did y'all get for your...
she
can't
watches,
do that.
man.
Yeah,
I can't throw it out there.
She,
What are we talking
about?
about?
If she sees
Taylor
it.
told me a story about her brother. I'm going to tell this. Her brother actually, when she was a kid, had 2 Christmases in a row where he went down and unwrapped all of their gifts and went upstairs during the middle of the night, woke her up, and told her what the gifts were. So she hates not being surprised. Like she doesn't want to know.
Way. My sister used to do that. Like she would literally sneak. So before my parents wrapped them, like they kept them in their closet. They would hide them like under clothes and at the top of the closet. My sister would go in there every year and see everything we got. Same thing. And come and tell me. And I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I like the surprise of it. She wants to know everything she's got.
Why? What's the point?
Know.
Who cares? You're going to get it on that day.
Yeah.
You're getting on the...
Impatience.
On Christmas.
That's what she's known for.
That's what it is. But we also, I know you can't actually see this, but the Christmas smell. Your candle game, Kenny, is fantastic. It smells gorgeous.
What is that one, by the way? I can't.
It smells
gorgeous.
gorgeous. It's pine needle. I don't know what it is.
Come on,
exactly.
give us a read off of it.
I do need to give...
That kind of hurts.
Not spill that.
I won't. It just says winter on it.
You're about to burn. You're about to burn your hand off.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
We don't have insurance, man.
Yeah, we're not there.
Now, I got to actually thank Tracy for her candle game. Her candle game is like literally one of the things that made me fall in love with her.
Okay.
Because my house, and guys, y'all know, well, you don't because you and Taylor have been together for a while.
Real quick, and I hate to cut you. Her candle game is one of the things. that was like pros versus cons. You're like pros candle game.
Dude, without even a shadow of a doubt. When she started telling me, she told me straight up. We started having conversations about us getting married. Like
I thought he was going to say candles.
We started having conversation about us getting married pretty early on into our dating relationship. And she told me one time, I remember her saying this with all seriousness, your house, when I live there, will never smell bad. And I was like,
sold.
Oh, hell yeah.
Done.
Like, I'm in.
Candle game strong.
Yes.
What are we talking about? That's hilarious. How about it?
To each
I didn't know that was a selling point.
I didn't either.
My gosh. In your vows. In your vows.
Thank you. I vow.
By the way.
I vow to let you buy as many candles as you want.
Well,
yeah. Okay.
So there we go.
That's a heck of a start to the episode.
Yeah.
But people aren't tuning in to watch us talk about Christmas.
Or
More
they
than
might
likely.
be.
They might be. They might. I mean, I don't know. They might be. Gabe thought about dyeing his beard white. Also.
I really did. Because I kind of have like
Yeah.
I mean, the length is almost Santa. I mean, me and Kenny are actually pretty close, right, in length right now.
The question is, well, length, yeah.
Okay, hey, brother. Hey, hold up. I didn't relax. Relax.
We've also had other discussions about that today.
Hey, brother. But that was off air.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
Would you? The question is, would you have let Christian sit in your lap if you had your beard dyed white? Would you have let him sit in your lap?
I don't think
For
I
a
would've-
photo op? Come on.
I don't
Why
think.
not?
I don't think I would have went for it.
Okay, all right.
But maybe. At
Photo
least-
op, dude. Photo op, man.
But I don't know. I feel-
Honestly,
I feel
it would be
like-
great. Honestly, like a good pose for the on the
Let's
bluff
go.
pod.
Like for a thumbnail.
For like, yeah, just for the like, happy holidays from on the bluff pod.
Listen,
That'd be
if
great.
if you're watching this or listening to this, we recorded this on a Monday night. When you see this on Tuesday, I can guarantee the thumbnail on YouTube will be Christian sitting in Gabe's lap. I can promise you that.
Oh, okay. So you don't promise what you can't deliver at that
Oh, I'm
point.
delivering.
Up to you.
We
dude.
shall
but
see.
I see. But I gotta.
Up to
I
you,
gotta
up to
die.
you,
I gotta. You know. I don't even look festive right now. Come on. We
you
gotta get this
don't.
right.
You don't. But anyways, so
It's hard to transition from there.
it is. I hope everyone.
Actually, on second thought, you're not sitting in my lap, dude.
okay.
You're just not.
Okay. Well.
Kenny, get that out of your head.
All right, that's being edited out. That whole part of me promising.
Okay, cool. Rock on.
Okay. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the Christmas talk, the brief Christmas talk we've had. But we're gonna move on to Tiger basketball. I thought of doing like a corny segue right there, but I'm just not the corny segue
Okay,
guy,
rock
so
on.
I just let that ride.
All good.
But anyway, we are on the heels of another Memphis victory against Texas A&M. Kind of a weird, slow, ugly, poorly officiated. Some may
You say that again.
game.
I felt myself get older
yeah,
that game.
yeah.
I got closer to death during that game.
It felt like
I'm
it.
not even kidding you.
It felt like it.
That was ridiculous.
Kenny, what time did the game
2 hours and 55 minutes was
2
when I
hours
saw
and
game
55
time.
minutes.
Yeah, but
man.
what time did you leave the Forum on Saturday?
Well, Penny has notoriously become pretty late getting to the post game stuff, so I think I left at 10:15.
And got there at 4:30 probably? 4 o'clock?
4:30. Yeah.
That's a long day.
Shout out
Shout out,
that
Kenny.
officiating crew, huh?
Shout out Kenny for the grind.
Kenny, are you happy with that officiating crew?
Man, let me tell you, you know who's someone who's not. Penny is actually right now at his weekly radio show right now, and this is a quote directly from Penny about 5 minutes ago. He said, talking about DeAndre, he said his emotions do get the best of him. He has to learn now because the referees have him marked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what you saw.
Absolutely. And that's what they do. I mean, when they get, I don't know how it works for referees. I'm not even going to sit here and fake it like I know. I just about like went on a spiel. I don't know if they they probably don't watch film. They're probably told that, hey, watch number so and so. And for Memphis case, watch number 12 because he's known for fouling or whatever. I don't know. I could have just
lot of
totally lied
those-
there and been like, yeah, when they're watching film, but I don't.
No, refs watch film. There's no question about it. But like at the end, like KO, I thought, well, I'll get to that in a second about sort of knowing the situation.
Yeah.
I thought their situational basketball was left a lot to be desired on Saturday. But KO closing out, like that was not. He didn't land in the area of the shooter. He blocked it. He got a hand on
Right.
it. That probably should not been a foul.
Yeah.
And then DeAndre at the end, when he got his 5th and 6th because of the technical that followed, he was challenging the shot with perfect verticality, and then they called it late. He grabs the ball and just runs off with it. Not that personally, and I don't know what they do in their handbook when they're right. Like I don't know what they study, the referees.
Yeah.
But running off with the ball should not be grounds for a technical foul in that situation,
Yeah.
especially with how late the call was and everything else. That officiating crew took years off my life,
Yeah.
man. Like, I'm not kidding you. Just watching that game, there was no flow to it.
No, it was constant start, stop, start. Nobody could get a rhythm.
And I tweeted about this, talked about it on my show. ESPNU had the Oklahoma State, Wichita State game after. It was halftime. It was halftime by the time the Tigers game ended. It was a regulation game. This wasn't a game that went to OT,
Overtime,
double
yeah.
OT. So you got to the next game that ESPN wanted at half. I mean, that was, you're glad the Tigers come out with a win and just a nasty slog of a game.
Yeah.
But that was just unacceptable from that officiating crew. And I'm not one to just
Crap
go
on
after,
officials.
but good Lord.
That was
man.
rough. Yeah, it was rough. But there was one big thing that I did really like from this game, and it was, so we're going back to the Alabama game because you and I haven't talked about Alabama since it happened. That was last Tuesday. So the day after we recorded our last show, but they struggled shooting, right? They don't hit their first three until it was the last second, right? It was the last shot of the game they hit was a three. And obviously Penny sees that and understands, he knows that they're never going to be a top level three-point shooting team. They're not going to hit, 10 threes a game or anything like that. But he knows that the threat of being able to shoot at least a little bit is going to go far for this team. It's going to help this team if they have some kind of presence from the three-point line. And what does he do? He immediately injects Johnathan Lawson into that lineup, and he hits 3 threes early in the game because he knew he needed that presence. He knew he needed to be able to space out the defense a little bit more. He knew he needed to have the threat of shooting.
Yeah.
And knowing that Johnathan excels at that, plugs him in, lets him get hot and hit a few shots because we didn't see him in the Alabama game. And, we see him early in the A&M game and knock down some shots early.
So this team's never going to be a good jump shooting team.
No.
Like, that's the truth of the matter. And I think everybody's resigned themselves to the fact that's going to be the case. I'm curious, though, seeing how Johnathan Lawson has been used throughout the year. We know what Penny tries to do. We know Penny wants you to be a defensive first guy. You have to be locked in on that end. You have to know what you're doing. You basically have to buy into the system. What is it going to look like going forward for Johnathan Lawson? Because offensively, we know he can provide a whole lot. He's got some length. He probably got more minutes because, Malcolm Danders is out. You need some more guys rotating in. I just wonder, going forward, how Penny's going to manage that and use Johnathan Lawson within those rotations. Because to this point, we've known that he's probably one of the more talented offensive players on this team, and he still hasn't gotten consistent minutes.
Yeah, and then also with Keontae Kennedy being out, another reason likely for him and KO.
You just need
playing.
more.
You got they needed more bodies in this game
pieces.
with 2 guys out. And Kenny, you made a great point to me on the phone the other night about this rotation moving forward, going in to the Alabama State game and then into conference play. You care to elaborate on that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I added to it was what, kind of adding on to what Penny said, and that he said he came into this game saying, I am going to go back to this strength in numbers idea. The thing that I think the Tiger fans have slightly gotten annoyed with Penny's rotations over the last few years has been his lack of a certain knowing that these are the top 8 guys, that it's just random people coming in at random times. The lineups aren't getting a lot of play together. But I think he handled this out of conference season pretty brilliantly with his lineup, because there is no doubt in my mind that if the tournament were to start right now, we know who his top 8 players are.
Absolutely.
Because he's been playing them.
Yeah.
Because he's had a very limited, rotation the beginning part of this year. But he knows for a fact that he cannot play Kendrick Davis 37 minutes a game throughout this conference season and the Tigers be successful and be peaking at the right time coming into March.
Absolutely.
And so you're going to see a lot more, even when Keontae comes back, even when Jaden gets healthy from his hip situation, when all these guys are available, you're going to see guys like Johnathan Lawson. You're going to see, obviously, you're going to see a lot more of Damaria. You're going to see KO. You're going to see these guys because but the difference is, I think, in this year is that Tiger fans and other coaches know that these are his core 8. They just know this. So he's got that down pat. Now he's going to play strength in numbers.
You see the point of the substitutions, though. Just going to the beginning of what you're talking about. You see the point of what he's doing and what he's trying to employ or deploy, right? What he's putting out there. In the past, it's been just wholesale substitutions, 5 for 5, 4 for 4, whatever it is.
It felt like no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I need to get these guys some rest. Let's take them off the floor. And then you'd go into these scoring droughts because these guys were uncomfortable or didn't really know what was going on.
Or don't mesh well together.
Yeah, didn't mesh well together. But this year, you can see, I mean, there's definitely a plan there. And I look at some of the more, and you say like Kendrick Davis can't play 37 minutes a game and then be successful by the end of the year. I mean, you look around the country, like guys like Kelvin Sampson, he'll play Marcus Sasser, he'll play these guys for 35 minutes a game. He'll play, if he has injuries, he'll only play 6, right? There's other guys around the country that sort of go about that. So about it that way. So I wonder what Penny's thought process is when it comes to conference play and how he's going to sort of rotate guys in. But the Johnathan Lawson thing, offensively, I was incredibly impressed with him. And, like, the thought, of course, goes through your head, like, where has this been? Why hasn't he been playing a whole lot? And you just sort of wonder what the buy-in on the defensive end is.
Right. Because there's a reason. Like, he's not just not throwing him out there for no reason. Like, there's got to be something.
Yeah. So,
but I think with the Alabama State game coming up, obviously that's a game Memphis is expected to win. And then when conference play starts, Memphis is going to be favored in almost every game.
Except for the Houston games.
Except for the Houston games. And I think just according to Basketball Power Index, because lines haven't come out, I think the first UCF game, Memphis might be like 48% chance to win, like slightly underdog in that game. But that obviously is subject to change.
At worst.
Right. So they're going to be favored in a lot of these games. They should be able to win comfortably in a decent amount of games. So you will get to see guys like Johnathan Lawson more. I think that's in the plan regardless.
Yeah.
But like Kenny's saying, if it's come down in crunch time and you got to win, there's going to be a certain group of guys that he's putting 100%. On the floor.
And I want to see, just offensively, I just want to see a little bit more emphasis. Because once you get into these late season, these postseason matchups in the tournament, you're going to have more offense. Mm-hmm. You're just going to. Because I looked at that A&M game, and outside of DeAndre and Kendrick, you just have this crapshoot of a bunch of, and Damaria can help. I think he's got some more rust to shake off.
It's going to take some
and
time.
He'll do that. And I thought he was better against A&M offensively. He looks more aggressive than a lot of guys out there, and that helps. But you just have a crapshoot of a bunch of other guys that you don't know. You don't know game to game. You don't know half to half who's going to show up. So you just have to try to find that. You got to try to find offensively what lineups work. I don't think they're going to have a massive issue, though, in conference, though.
But here's the thing.
To the point you're trying to make.
Agreed.
Here's the thing to me about it, though, Gabe, is that, yes, we know what we're going to get from DeAndre. We know what we're going to get from Kendrick. We know what we can get from Damaria because you can see it. You know, he passes the eye test.
The idea, yeah.
But, you know, we can sit here and say we don't know what we're going to get from other players. But what we have seen is that other players have shown a capability to step up and fill that gap from game to game, from 5-minute stretch to 5-minute stretch. These guys have shown that they can do it. Keontae has shown he can do it. And I think that's why we haven't seen a whole lot of Johnathan this year, is because Keontae really hasn't given Penny a reason to not play him.
Yeah.
And it's very clear, this roster construction, the way that Penny has done it, is he is absolutely going to trust the veteran presence of his guys that he's brought in. And so, you know, you look at Johnathan and you say, listen, man, yes, you are a talented player and you're going to do good work for this Tiger team. But right now, Keontae is that guy that Penny trusts in that moment. You know,
and that's sort of what I'm talking about, though. At the same time, like Johnathan Lawson, I love him as an offensive player. And this was the point I was really trying to make. Johnathan Lawson, I love him from the three-point line, what he can bring in regards to being a perimeter presence on the offensive end. Defensive end, at times he looks a little disconnected. At times he doesn't really know exactly what's expected of him. The intensity's not there. He's got the length. He's got the ability to be great on the defensive end. I just don't know if Penny trusts him on that end, and that's why I wonder about his minutes going forward. That's more – and I think we're on the same page, Kenny. It's just sort of – when Penny plays a certain group of guys or a certain guy in general, that guy has to be locked in on the defensive end. And I don't know if he doesn't. I would lean to the side of him not feeling comfortable with him yet on that side.
Well, we have history with that too. Look at last year's team with Josh Minot.
Yep, correct.
You know, when Josh came onto the floor, fans and even media me being one of them, saw the impact
Saying,
that Josh
damn.
Minot had on the offensive side of the floor. He was a difference maker for that team. He would come in and pass the ball. You know, he could dribble, rebound. He could get shots off it. Like, he was getting good shots off. Penny very clearly noticed that there was an issue on the defensive side, and that's the reason why Josh did not play much.
And it's not lack of ability by any stretch of the imagination.
not
Even
at
with
all.
Johnathan, even with Johnathan Lawson, it's not a lack of ability. It's just being bought in and understanding the scheme and what they want to put out there.
It's youth. High school guys.
It takes
guys.
time.
High school guys are so used to being able to just dominate physically on
Just with their length,
with
and
their
their
length and their size, and they're so used to being able to do that. That's the biggest difference in college basketball, and as you move up levels,
every time you move up a level, defense gets harder.
Defense is just another. You cannot play defense the way you did the level before,
Right. The
and
speed
so it takes
jumps.
time.
And,
The speed jumps every level.
Harder to recover, harder to do all those types of things.
Yeah.
For sure. Another thing I noticed, and this was more in the Alabama game, you notice sort of a little bit of an injection of Frank Haith defensively, isn't there?
Yeah.
Jumping into some zones, throwing different looks. I mean, I think that's interesting considering sort of the history. When you look at assistant coaches and Penny, there's been at least a thought, a narrative that he hasn't necessarily taken advice from some of the guys that have been in there. I think last year that narrative started to switch when they had success. Funny how that works.
Right.
But
Right.
you see Frank Haith, and you already see Penny letting him take a timeout huddle.
Yeah.
And Frank Haith is right up there, and he's the one doing the coaching, and Penny's like, yeah, go ahead. Right?
There's a reason why Frank Haith was brought onto this staff.
Right.
Penny got to see firsthand what that defense can do multiple times.
Yeah.
When a team is balled
One
in,
time in particular.
one time
too.
in
Good
very
Lord.
particular. What did they score that game? Like 42 points or
It's
something?
like
that?
80
80
something to
82
42
to 42.
It's
Yeah.
40-point
Bad.
loss.
But yeah, there's a reason he brought him in. And I think immediately there was a trust factor there of like, I've seen what you can do, and we know how Penny feels about defense. He loves defense.
Yep.
And so to take a guy that has a great defensive system and clearly knows how to make players buy
And
in.
Penny knows what he's got going on the defensive end as well.
Oh, yeah. So I think it's a perfect marriage. And I think throughout the season, as we go on, and based on matchups, we'll see more of that mix.
Yeah.
That more defensive scheme, defensive system mix. Obviously, depend on who's on the floor for Memphis, who's on the floor for the opposing team, what the scenario is. We know if it's a tight game or into half, Penny typically always goes to that full court press, and it usually works very well. And mixing in the zone schemes and different schemes from Frank Haith, I think is perfect. And I think it just makes a very good defensive team already even more dynamic, especially going into conference play. So completely agree with you. Were you about to say something, Kenny?
What lineup do you want to see in that matchup zone that Frank Haith runs?
That's a complicated question.
It is, because it's like, do you go the guys that you know, or do you go the length? You know, do you throw the length out there in that zone?
What we've seen from Penny is just whoever really understands and is bought in and can stay connected. That's who's going to be in there.
Right.
But I don't know who that would be in this particular situation. I mean, the starting lineup hadn't changed.
Right. So that's kind of what I think.
It's fun. It's funny to see, like, as soon as he played the starting lineup with Jaden and Chandler in there, people are like, "What the hell?" Like, what in the world is going on? He's stuck with it, and it's still working,
right,
man. Like, in the end of the day, I don't think offensively they're providing you a whole lot, but defensively they give you a lot of value.
Mm-hmm. And it's shown in every
and they're
game.
Experienced, and they have shown that they are worthy of being played a certain amount of minutes.
Yeah.
So
let's kind of give a little bit of a pivot here and kind of take an outlook on where we're at, kind of where we've gotten to at this point and where we're heading at. I know I've hinted at conference play. I mentioned conference play a couple of times. So Memphis finished 4-1 against the SEC. I think any Memphis fan would have taken that going into the year.
That was, I think, even more than that. And obviously, of course, Memphis fans would have taken that. But I think that was like the rosiest of scenarios, right? Because you had 3 teams that you were playing that were going to be top 25 teams, that were top 25 teams in the preseason.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, A&M, Auburn, Alabama were all AP top 25.
Yep.
So, like, getting one of those wins was all that Tiger fans were hoping. And then beat Ole Miss, beat Vandy.
Yeah.
So, like, 3-2 was We're cooking with grease.
Right.
4-1 is like, damn, you're playing with house money. You feel great.
4-1, 4-1, and 10-3 at this point. Kind of piggybacking on the 4-1, like the 10-3. I think anybody would have taken that.
Well, you're counting Alabama State a little too early. 9-3, right? 9-3 right this second.
Am I wrong?
I think they're 9-3.
They're 9-3 now, but they have a 98.7% chance.
That's why I said he's counting Alabama State already.
9-3.
So can we count the Alabama State?
Possibly going to 10-3.
Yes.
But I think that's a great spot to be at this point in the season because
It's fantastic.
there's multiple games that could have went either way.
Seton Hall is one in particular. You're like, damn.
Yeah.
A guy who's not even a 3-point shooter banked in a 3-point pointer at the buzzer.
And as much as it bothers y'all, Penny said it, and I'm going to keep bringing it. He's talking right now. He just said a few minutes ago that the Seton Hall game still keeps him up at night.
Yeah, those aren't ones that die easy.
No.
Like those ones that the ones that got away, the ones that slipped, the ones that you should have
If
won.
they won that game, and rankings right now have been released, the AP Top 25, and there'd be, and I hate this is my pet peeve. You know it's my pet peeve.
They're 31st.
31st. No, they're not 31st. They're 6th receiving vote. They have 59 votes.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a hot take for people. People are going to lose their mind.
I mean,
on
I
that,
agree.
but-
You're not.
But you're not 31st.
Right.
If you're talking about net ranking, you can be 31st.
Right.
But in the AP
In
Top
the
25,
AP,
you're not
it's the AP
31st. It's top 25. Yes.
Yeah.
But you look at that. If they were 10-2 and won that Seton Hall game, how much of a difference do you think that would make?
I think they'd be in
But like 25,
20
24.
20 to 20, somewhere between 20 and 25.
Right.
And I'm still honestly, I'm still kind of surprised that they aren't. I mean, when you look at what they've done, like, okay, so last week you're talking about the others receiving votes. They were first and others receiving votes. They lose by 3 on the road against
The number 4 team in the country.
Right, the number 4 team in the country, and then they come back and beat not a great, but a solid SEC team.
Preseason AP Top 25 team.
Right.
I mean, you could say what you want about A&M and where they've gone from that previous ranking, but they were thought of highly coming into the year.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like they could be ranked, but I know there are a lot of people that are like, "Hey, I don't want to be ranked right now. Like, I don't like seeing the number." Yeah, no,
right. That in the end of the day, being ranked in the AP doesn't matter. Net, Ken Palm, all these other metrics are going to help you out more once it comes to tournament time.
Right.
Now it's an added plus.
Yeah.
Being the AP Top 25, but hey, it is what it is. The teams in front of them though is kind of weird to me. Mm-hmm. So they're behind Maryland. Maryland's the first other team, and Maryland's lost 3 games to this point. And they look good early in the season, and you know, whatever. West Virginia, I don't understand this at all. They don't have a marquee win. I think they have 1 win in the quad 1.
Yeah.
3 losses in quad 1. Tigers are 1-1 in quad 1. What? Why? And also, I looked at the net for West Virginia, and this throws me off. And I know early season net. What was it during the COVID year? Colgate was like a top 5 team in the net or whatever.
Yeah.
West Virginia is 9th in the net. I don't, sometimes in this early season out of conference situation, what is the ranking? What are these metrics really telling us at this moment? But then Xavier and Charleston, New Mexico, I think, you know, they've outperformed what their expectations were. New Mexico's still undefeated. Right. Whatever. I can accept those. But like the West Virginia, Maryland thing, I feel like power conference type thing, sort of a little bit of preseason strength of schedule thing. It all comes together to keep them ahead of Memphis when it comes to others receiving votes.
Right. And like you said, it's more of a thing that's fun to debate than a thing that really matters. Because it doesn't. But it's fun to talk about and fun to look at some of the other things, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean much.
Real quick, I do want to bring this up on the A&M game. What did you think of the performance as a whole? Like, truthfully, and I think we can preface this by, again, stating referees did not let that game flow. There was review after review. It was 2 hours and 55 minutes. But truthfully, I'll give my opinion too, but what did you think of the Tigers' performance in that game?
I mean, I didn't think it was pretty, obviously. I thought... it's one of those games that's so hard because in my mind, when I think about it, if the game does flow correctly, if there's actually,
it could be different.
If there's actually time to get into a rhythm, if there's actually time for people to heat up and for people to get used to being on the floor together instead of just like I was saying earlier, like the start, stop. Yeah. I think Memphis wins that game pretty handily, honestly. But with how just junky it was, man. Like it
nasty,
just,
man.
it was just a nasty game. So it really is. At the end of the day, it's one of those games that you won, and that's all that matters, in my opinion. Like you won that game, that's all that matters.
True. I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
And to win that game and not play your best ball, I don't even think the Tigers have really played their best ball all
and
year.
that's always a good sign. If you do not play well, if you do not play up to your capabilities, you play sloppy, you miss shots, you turn the ball over, you're
Still
caught
win a
in
game by
caught in
4.
bad officiating, and you still beat a quality opponent. That's a sign of a good team.
Yes, I agree with you. There's 2 things though I want to point out. Rebounding, that was bad in the second half. A&M, there was a point where I'm watching this game, and obviously there's a lot of long rebounds and things that are just trickling out of the Tigers' hands. But the rebounding in the second half, I think offensive boards for A&M, they out rebounded the Tigers 15-6 on the offensive glass. That can't happen against good teams. And I think there was an emphasis against Auburn and Alabama because they're really good on the offensive glass. And the Tigers did a good job trying to clean it up. I don't know if that emphasis was quite there. And A&M, if they're able to finish some of those opportunities, that game could look different. Obviously, it didn't because A&M was not taking advantage of those opportunities. Also, situationally, I thought there were some struggles. KO closing out on the three-point shooter the way he did in that situation, although I don't think it should have been called a foul. He left it up in the air for the ref to go make that call.
Absolutely.
Ref makes that call. DeAndre playing with 4 fouls. I thought, again, a little ticky-tack, but play straight up. But the biggest situation, they were up by 4 at one point, and they're coming out of a timeout, and they pull a little trickeration where they throw the pass. And you see it on a made basket all the time where you switch inbounders.
Yeah.
But you can't do it out of a timeout. I don't think that'll ever happen again. I think the staff will learn from this and everybody, but that can't happen in that situation.
No.
It just can't.
Yeah.
So as much as it was impressive for them to not play that good a ball and win that game by 4, there were some things in there that's just like you can't let that be recurring.
You got to clean that up.
You have to clean that up.
You have to clean that up. And I really do think with the rebounding stuff, I think you do see the effects of Malcolm Dandridge there.
A little bit.
Because, I know people, you have people that have really loved Malcolm. You've had people that haven't been as crazy about him. But truthfully, he's played his best ball this season. I think that's pretty unquestionable that he's played his best basketball this year at 100%. The collegiate level. And obviously going down in that Alabama game, tough to watch. For him to go down like that.
Oh, he turned the hell out of his ankle, man.
And for someone who really hasn't gotten to play a ton of minutes in his career at Memphis, to finally get that chance to really be the enforcer for this team and to be that big for the team and play a lot of minutes, that sucks for him. But I think he was doing it better than people realize he was. As being because DeAndre's not an enforcer, right? Like he can get the big spark plays. He is an energizer on the floor, but he's not the big, you know what I mean? Like Malcolm brings a very physical presence down low that you have to have on the offensive glass, that you have to have to set the tone down low.
Yep.
And you don't have that in KO.
KO can't do that.
You don't have that in KO. And so I think they're really going to see that effect without Malcolm. Fortunately, you're not playing great teams. You're not seeing Alabama next week.
Correct.
You're not seeing Ole Miss again. You're not seeing some of these teams that could really make you pay if you're not rebounding as well. So that it is fortunate that they're kind of through that part of the gauntlet of the schedule and heading into conference play, which this year is not a gauntlet.
As much as it's one guy, when you look at Malcolm Dandridge, having to play KO in those minutes at times throws off the rotations from Penny Hardaway, right? Because he can trust Malcolm for an extended period of time if he sees Malcolm's not fouling and Malcolm's not being demonstrative, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Throwing KO in there, he's going to foul a little too much. He's just raw offensively. He can't really, rebounding is not all that great yet. So it just throws off how Penny works the guys
lineups
into the game. And I think there's something to that. You can't discount that. That's something that they're going to have to work on going forward. But how many games is Malcolm going to be out for? Probably 3 more at this point. It depends. Ankles can be tricky. I had to deal with a bunch in college. I had 2 high ankles.
You probably played with high ankle sprains all the time.
I had 2 high ankle sprains at South Florida in 2015. So yes, I had to run out there. Shout out Toradol.
That was a fun. That was a fun game. Huh? You probably couldn't move.
I was Really struggling, yes.
Black and blue ankles like this big.
Worse than that, yeah. I had taped my ankle splint, spatted over the ankle splint, the whole thing on both legs. That was rough. But basketball and football are different sports.
And offensive line and basketball really.
Yes. So, I mean, you're very grounded playing offensive line if you didn't know. You just sort of stomp into the ground. You don't jump up. You don't do anything like that. But hopefully the Malcolm injury doesn't keep him out for an extended period of time. I mean, you deal with him. I mean, what do they have coming up? They have Alabama State.
South Florida. I mean, Tulane and then ECU. Do I have that right? I believe I have that right. So, I mean, missing him in those games shouldn't cost you a drastic amount. Right.
But it's something to monitor for sure.
And hopefully it's not a linger because, as you know, ankles can linger. It doesn't take – once it's compromised, once you have an ankle sprain, it's easy to twist it again because you're relying more heavily on that other ankle.
He came up – I mean, he is probably about, what, 3 feet in the air? And just landed directly off and rolled it.
It was bad.
God, man.
It looked fortunately, it didn't look like a hyperextension. It looked like just ankle.
I was scared too because how high in the air he was. I was scared knee and everything else. But
it was a rough.
Definitely like crossing your fingers when
that
happened.
Rough injury. No, ankles suck, man. I had one in high school. High ankle sprain. Pulled ligaments in my ankle. It sucks. Played the whole season on it.
Brutal.
Big fat ankle. Couldn't run.
And it also scares the hell out of you when you like re-injure it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. When you tweak it, you're like, oh, back to square one.
And that's what Penny was saying about Kendrick, too. Penny was saying that about Kendrick.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick in the Alabama game was out for the last minute and a half. And he said, well, when you have lingering ankle issues, sometimes you just get freaked out.
Right. It just scares you.
It scares the hell out of you, and you have to sit out for a little bit.
Right. Because you literally think,
you can recover pretty quickly.
I'm back to day one.
But that's the other thing. The more you have ankle injuries, the more you know how to deal with them. Right? That's what I found in college. It's like, I have bad ankles to this day.
Right.
I can bounce back like that just because it doesn't really.
And a low ankle sprain is way better.
Yeah.
Way better than a high
That's
ankle
true.
sprain.
Very true. Very true.
Do we have anything else on basketball? Looking forward to conference schedule, A&M, Alabama. Kenny, you got anything else on basketball before we move on to Memphis football?
I think we should move on to Memphis football. It's been a huge day for Ryan Silverfield and staff.
Has it?
Massive day.
What are you talking about?
As you tweeted, you said big freaking day of recruiting.
What a
quick.
freaking day.
Oh, my bad.
Real
what
quick.
a freaking day.
My head is spinning with all of the news from the transfer portal, opt-outs for the bowl season, people declaring for the NFL draft, recruiting. We have early signing day.
It's that time of year.
My
man.
head's spinning, man.
It's that
I can't
time of
keep
year.
it all together.
It is that
A
time
lot of
year.
commitments. I mean, it's everything's going on all over the place. Official visit time of year.
So let's take a little peek at what we got going on from today only. This is just today, I believe. Yes. So Arkansas transfer punter Reed Bauer
Needed that.
Yeah,
with Joe on the way out.
48 games. Started 48
He was
games.
the start.
in his
He
career.
was the starter. Not last year. I think he
2018.
was going into it, but
I think he started his freshman year. Then he only played 2 games, and I think the last 2 or 3 years.
I thought he basically took most of the time for 2 years there at Arkansas. Most of the time is
48 games. So
Okay, there you go.
whatever that boils down to.
rock on.
Averaged I think 44.6 this past season. So solid.
Another SEC.
Was
another
the
SEC guy.
2021 holder of the year. Memphis
Mortel?
Yes, Mortel.
Peter
Award.
Mortel.
Yep.
There we go.
Memphis is familiar with those. Have one of
Yes.
their own. What was that, 2020?
By the way, Evan Michael got robbed. You even know Evan Michael?
Yeah.
He got robbed, man. He got robbed.
All right, moving right along.
2017, robbed. Poor guy.
You'll go to your grave with that one.
Oh, easily.
So Radrian McNeely, sorry. Actually, the first one was Jamari Chisholm.
Yeah. Tight end.
Sunday. Yeah, it's from Hutchinson. And then you get Reed Bauer this morning, Radrian McNeely, 3-star running back out of Louisiana. And then after that, you get the biggest one of the day.
Massive.
Top 10 JUCO guy, Chris Morris, Memphis native,
Yep.
big commit, former A&M.
Went to Pure, right?
Pure Academy,
Yep.
with Tevin Carter.
And just looking at him in this film, big, sort of rangy
Hey, we're gonna
tackle
get there.
prospect,
We're
man.
gonna get to the
Okay,
list.
all right, man. I'm jumping the gun.
I definitely
but
want-
very, very, very exciting. Like that's a guy that you could plug and play.
All right. we'll get back to that
Okay,
because
we'll
I
get
want you
back to it.
I want you to get more in
Keep it
detail on
rolling.
that. Navarro College linebacker C.J. Johnson.
Yep.
His teammate actually committed a couple weeks ago, Marcus Tillman, and then decommitted last night.
Last night?
Mm-hmm. And then I really like this guy, the Old Dominion running back transfer, Blake Watson. Over 2,200 yards over the last 2 years, 17 touchdowns. Went from basically no catches to like 37 catches this year, so showed a little more dual threat ability. 5.5 yards per carry over the last 2 years. I really like him. But let's get into Chris Morris. This is a guy that I know you've known about for a while. I've known about for a while. He was a guy coming out of high school at Pure that Memphis recruited, 4-star guy, ended up going to A&M. You mentioned him being a plug-and-play guy. What do you think? Just give me your
I mean,
your
you
thoughts.
look at, because here's what I like to see in a prospect. I talked about, I think last week, a guy that's not going to be overly big, that you don't have to lose a whole bunch of weight. Not a guy, and he's also not a guy that you're going to have to put a whole bunch of weight on. He's 6'5", 310 pounds.
Right, and he spent years in college.
And he right tackle, left tackle. And you have needs there. You have guys outgoing that you're going to have to place. Matt Dale, Austin Myers out the door. So you have to figure out guys that can come in and play. And this is a guy who has experience at both, at the JUCO level. I also coming back home. So he certainly, there's an added bonus there for him. I like the move too. I like seeing homegrown talent in a Memphis uniform, and I feel like this is a guy that they should have pretty early plans for in regards to getting him on the field.
Yeah, it was a very high priority when he was in high school for Memphis. Obviously, it's hard to turn down SEC offers, so he ends up going to A&M. Didn't necessarily pan out there, and then went to Hutchinson and
What was the situation offer-wise this time around? I'm pretty sure
Georgia, Tennessee,
a bunch of SEC
Mississippi
offers, everything
State.
else.
Like he's got legit
Yeah.
high level, Power 5 offers. But he's already went down that
Yeah,
road,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's already went down that road and realizes, maybe I could go carve a path at one of those schools, but I can really go be an
back
anchor
home, be comfortable, family,
and
whole 9 yards.
be a dude, be a legit all conference type player. Because he has that talent. There's no doubt he has the talent and pedigree to be a top tier talent on the offensive line in the American Athletic Conference with a guy like Silverfield that we've seen churn out monster after monster. Got one sitting to my left right here.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to start blushing.
But yeah, I like the build. He's not a overly massive guy, 6'4", 300, and he's he looks like a healthy 6'4", 300. Like he's
Athletic.
Yeah, an athletic 6'4", 300, can move, played left tackle this year at Hutch. And we know Hutch is a prolific
Just played in the
JUCO.
Natty.
Yeah, just played in the
Got beat pretty bad. Iowa Western.
Didn't win.
But hey,
But
that's what it is.
Iowa Western's also top
Coles,
JUCO every year. So went to a good program, stuck out there. Obviously left tackle, top 10 JUCO guy. I think he is number 10. And you look at the top 10 of the JUCO rankings, and it's like Alabama, and then Memphis. Memphis has 2 guys in the top 10 JUCO now. We talked about Derick Hunter on last week's episode, number 5 overall JUCO player, defensive tackle, and then now you get the number 10 guy in Chris Morris at as we've talked about, major position of need.
Ryan and this staff and what they're doing on the recruiting trail, man, obviously you need to see results. I get it. Again, I always talk about 6-6, 3-5 in conference is not what the baseline should be. It shouldn't be the expectation. But you can't ignore what's going on with this recruiting class that
Not
he's
at
putting
all.
together. Guys that can help right this second, guys on both lines that are sizable, right, at positions of need. And right now, when you look at O-line, D-line, not so much, because I thought, they have some guys up there that are established. O-line, every single position should be up for grabs. Every single position should be thought of as complete open competition.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But it's in the end of the day, it's so hard. You can't ignore the way recruiting has gone since the season has ended. And not to mention, you get Asa Martin back for a 6th year.
Yep.
Caden Prescorn makes his announcement. Jalen Allen makes his announcement. Seth makes his announcement. It's positive news. Again, I know it's hard to take it in stride with how the season went, but damn,
It's good.
just try to
Have some positivity.
have a little bit of positivity and just sort of look at what could be done in the future. And I know that's hard for some people in the moment right this second.
And you really hit the nail on the head a couple weeks ago. Our first episode here in the studio, you said go get some guys that can help now. You know, they've brought in a lot of high school talent over the last couple years. Now it's time to bring in guys that can help you win now. And they've done that. They've really hit JUCO hard. They've started landing some transfers. They have 4 now, I believe, with Blake Watson, Reed Bauer, Chandler Martin, and RJ Adams. So 4 transfers that they've brought in already, and they're not going to stop hitting the portal. They're still, looking at the portal and actively recruiting and trying to get some of these big guys. And that's exactly what they need. Just keep retooling those position groups that need to be. And as we know, offensive line's the one that we mentioned first, and they've already landed Chris Morris and RJ Adams, a JUCO guy and a P5 guy.
Yeah, with where we're at, looking at this program, where the fan base is at, you can't think of 2024. You can't think of 2025. You got to move forward next year, 2023, and attack. You can't think about the full future, and this staff sees that. Yeah, they're recognizing it, and they're doing whatever they can to try to get guys to help now. And that's a great start to where this 2023 season could potentially go.
Yeah, and a position I mentioned, I know we've harped offensive line a lot, the past few weeks, but I've mentioned running back a couple times, and they go out and get 2 today. I really like what they did. Like I said, Radrian McNeely, smaller built guy, 5'10", 170, not a massive build, has that quickness, the shiftiness. A lot of his runs are outside the tackle. I don't think he's an immediate contributor. I think he probably gets a red shirt this year, but building that depth, of course, is important. You mentioned bringing Asa Martin back. Kind of interested to see what his role will look like because he's never really never really gotten a full workload here. Yeah, you got Jay Ducker coming back. He had some nice moments. Blake Watson from Old Dominion, like I said, I really like him. I think he's 5'9", 195. Kenny, you can fact check me on that, but that sounds right. So he's not.
It's a talented room, though. In the
it is. It absolutely is.
And I think even last year, right? And they're going to have some outgoing guys from last year's room. Even last year was talented. It's just about getting those guys up front going, but having that talent, adding more talent, different body types too. Yeah. Different styles of runners. That's always a plus.
You got bruisers, you got smaller guys, you got shiftier guys, you got guys receivers.
That can catch passes.
Yeah. You want if you can't find it all in one guy, right? Because not every single running back that you recruit is going to be an amazing pass protector, a great runner, a great receiver, speed, size. Like it's
and you need several backs in this day.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And it is hard to find the total package. I mean, there's very, very, very few total package running backs. Even somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs at Alabama is not a total package running back. Yeah, you know what I mean? He's a great receiver. I think he's a great rusher. Not the best pass pro, a slider built guy. So even someone like that, who's probably going to be a first round pick, is not.
Bijan or him, RB1. Tough. I'd say Bijan, but
that's so tough, man.
That's tough. I like so Jahmyr though. I like
both of them. I think Jahmyr is more of an AK kind of guy, and I think Bijan's more of an every down. I mean, AK is an every down. I'm not saying AK is not an every down back or Jahmyr isn't either, but like Bijan is a dude that can get 30 carries a game, and I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs is a 30 carries a game kind of guy.
Jahmyr's an explosive play waiting to happen too.
Who would you say Bijan reminds you of?
Ooh, that's tough. That's kind of tough. More than I think about it.
I think he's kind of like Kenneth Walker to me.
He's kind of got that all. He's all around though.
Yeah,
I mean,
he kind of has like Kenneth Walker vibe to me.
Man, I'm looking at Blake Watson stats real quick. Not to totally jump back to him.
Oh, let's jump back into it,
dude. He ran for 259 yards against Coastal Carolina this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of last year. You go get Jay Ducker. You go get a guy in that room
has been productive
elsewhere at maybe even a lower level, but you have to have the guys in front of him to get going. Right. That's why the Chris Morris thing, like grand scheme, when you look at old linemen, like no one's gonna really, once that guy's actually on the field, I don't think anybody's gonna spotlight him or have his jersey on. But that's the biggest reason that guys like Watson, like Jay Ducker, like Sutton Smith, that's why these guys are going to go as the guys in front of them, and they had to do a full rebuild. They have to figure it out. All positions should be open, and I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see it.
The offensive line are the gear. The offensive linemen are the gears that make the offense turn. Without good offensive line play, yes, quarterback is the most important position. Truly believe that, but the offensive linemen are the gears that make an offense turn. without guys blocking, even if you have a good quarterback, it's difficult for him to get the ball off. If you don't have offensive linemen, you're going to have trouble running the ball. So, I mean, it all starts up front. And I've said this multiple times, I'm an old school guy. I'm in the trenches up front. If your D-line's good and your O-line's good, your team's probably good.
You could have an awful running back running behind the best O-line in the country, and that running back will still be a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yes.
But if you have the best running back in the country behind the worst offensive line in the country,
he's going to be lackluster.
He's going to do nothing.
Yeah.
He's going to do nothing. And that's like I love the talent that they have had in that room. It's just got to get going. It's just got to get going.
That position does excite me a lot. I am very intrigued to see who comes out. The competition is going to be fierce back there, as well as on the offensive line. Like those two position groups, I think possibly, maybe linebacker also, have the most competition.
Yep.
I know you're retooling a lot of the secondary, so there would be competition there, but I just don't think there's as many quality bodies as there are at linebacker, O-line, and running back right now. I think those positions, especially when we roll around the spring camp, those are going to be so much fun to watch and see who rises to the top. Because we mentioned that also. Like, competition breeds the best. It's going to bring the best guys to the top. And to see who comes out of those next year will be very interesting to see.
One more quick thing. I think I saw Carson Black, quarterback recruit, did decommit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the plan is going forward quarterback-wise?
I think they've got two young guys there.
Are they even worried
really
about
like.
high school recruiting at the quarterback level, really? I mean, obviously, you can always worry about it.
Yeah,
Maybe get one guy, maybe two guys if you really if you're feeling froggy.
I can't say I'm overly worried about it. I think they've got two young guys there that they really like. Yes, you need depth. Yes, you want to carry, especially in college, 3 or 4 quarterbacks. Most teams have, more walk-ons and stuff like that. You have 4 or 5 quarterbacks. So you want to carry a lot of quarterbacks, but with the outlook with Seth and Tevin, you're really set up there. If if Tevin pans out and becomes the player that a lot of us expect him to be, then you're really set there for a while.
For sure.
Your guys are there for a while. So I understand it from Carson's point of view totally, because it's like
you look at it and you're like,
yeah. Am I just going to go there for a year and then hit the transfer portal? Like, what's the point? Let me go. We don't know where he's
find
going,
an easier quarterback room to crack.
Actually, did he commit? I think he committed to Charlotte, I want to say.
I believe he did.
He did.
I think you're correct.
He did commit to Charlotte. So, I mean, it's like,
go find a quarterback room that's better suited for you and your skill set.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know Charlotte's outlook. Maybe they got a older
Biff
guy.
Poggi is their head coach, right?
Oh, okay.
He was the associate head coach for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. For high school, he was a really successhorizon high school coach until like 2018.
Look at you go.
I think.
Look at you go.
I got to look at these incoming coaches, man. I got to know what's on the horizon in the AAC.
I think you like the coaching carousel more than recruiting, really.
Do you want me to bring up Prime again this week?
No.
You want me to do it?
I was not trying.
I'll do it.
I know you just did. What do you mean? You just did it.
Well, Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders entered the transfer portal.
I wonder where they're going. Where do you think they'll commit, guys?
Did you see Travis Hunter said he is he's not 100% going to Colorado?
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody believes
Yeah,
that.
dude, come on.
Did you see the?
I was born yesterday.
Did you see the game? Did you see their game?
Yeah,
this weekend?
I did. They fought.
They did.
For a team that knows their coach is on the way out, that built that program, they fought pretty hard.
I bet seeing Prime talk to that tight end after the game really fired you up. You loved it. He was like, "That's my coach."
Yeah.
Go
Buffs.
You fought through so much.
Go Buffs.
Buffs. What do you know about Ralphie, Kenny?
Let's go
Come on.
Buffaloes.
No, but that's kind of weird. They go undefeated through the regular season 2 years in a row, and then or not undefeated in conference through the regular season. Then in the Celebration Bowl, fall flat. L. That's rough. It's rough stuff.
It's tough pill to swallow.
I also don't know why the HBCUs don't participate in the FCS playoffs. I'm sure there's a history there. I'm not privy to it.
I'm not either.
I'm gonna tell you that tight end, that drop was one of the weirdest looking drops I've ever seen in my entire life.
Kind of looked like he just threw it.
Like he threw it down, like hot potatoed that thing, man. Like,
hey,
We could get into some pretty nasty conspiracy theories if you want to do that.
Some tight ends are great blockers, and some tight ends are great receivers, but you don't get many that are both. You got conspiracy.
There are very few, honestly.
You got conspiracy theories?
No, I was not. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I don't want to get into them.
Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
Saw them on Reddit.
All right.
Let's stay away from them. It's bad stuff.
Reddit conspiracy theories. Okay.
But yeah, like how many? When you look at the NFL today, how many are really good pass catchers? Really good
Blockers.
blockers.
Kittle's-
T.J. Hawkinson, Greg Kittle, or George Kittle,
Kittle's the best.
and then Hawkinson, both from Iowa.
At both. Yeah, Travis Kelce is the best tight end of all time. But
Of all time.
Of all
Tony
time.
Gonzalez
No,
from a
I
statistical
love,
standpoint
dude. I
up there.
love.
But no,
Tony
Travis
Gonzalez
Kelce catching the ball. I from a talent perspective, I have to.
is the GOAT.
I'm close. When we're talking primes,
Don't
like
say Gronk.
primes, Gronk is up there. Don't say Gronk.
Don't say
It's
Gronk.
like,
Well, that's
what,
it. That's
dude?
it. Okay.
Don't say a great point. Don't make your great
Don't
point.
make a great point. But that's the only argument that can be made with Travis Kelce. I think is Gronkowski.
Yeah. But this is
Like,
also
I grew up on Tony G and Witten and Gates and those guys, and those dudes are nasty. Like all those dudes, top tier inline
Right.
blockers,
No, I'm
top
with you.
tier wideouts. But Kelsey's the GOAT.
What
Kelsey
about Mark
catches.
Andrews?
I mean, Mark Andrews is solid, but he's not. He's in the upper echelon of tight ends, but he's in the upper echelon of the worst position group in the NFL. So that's really not saying as much,
yeah.
right? I mean, tight ends. What do you got? I mean, you got
T.J. Hawkinson.
You got Kittle,
keep
Hawk.
an eye on Hawk, man.
Kittle, Hawk,
He's a baller.
Kelsey, Goddard. I think is really good. Schultz, I think is really
No,
good.
I'm surprised Fant hasn't really panned out yet.
He's got all the. Oh, you know who has actually started to pan out this year? Njoku's finally started to pan out this year.
got a contract.
Supreme athlete.
Yeah.
Man, he jumps over people every week.
Yeah.
But no, there's not many.
No.
Schultz is a good blocker.
It's tough
for
tough
the Cowboys.
position.
But I mean,
Of course, he'd bring
if
up
I
the
say
Cowboys.
anything about the Cowboys, it's going to be
course.
biased.
Dalton Schultz can't play though. They have a bunch of tight ends though, man.
Jake Ferguson,
Hendershot.
old Peyton Hendershot caught him a touchdown this week.
Yeah, deep one.
A little bit, like 20 something.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence killed John. Trevor Lawrence balled. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's sad.
Christian is
no.
mad right now.
Dude, I was so upset. Like, so when they get that, when the Jags get the ball first in overtime, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I felt good about the defense being able to hold up, and they did. And then we get the ball, and I'm like, okay, this is where we win the game, and we didn't. And the thing is, like, man, I hate these games. I hate these freaking games where you have like that quiet confidence. I can't see Kenny, but he's doing something over there.
He's smiling. That's it.
Where there's like this quiet confidence of like, man, we're not. It was like the Texans game. Like, we're not playing great, but we're gonna pull it out. And they just didn't. Noah Brown right off his chest. And
Let's tell it how it is. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Dak Prescott's got to be better with the ball. Now that last one that
That's
people
not on him.
No, the INT is definitely not his
That was
fault.
a
Not even
heck
close.
of a throw.
Yeah, no, it hit Noah Brown between the 8 and the 5.
Yeah.
But he's got to stop throwing picks, man. He's got to be better with the ball.
And he's
they just manage the game
and
better.
He's never
and they'll be
been.
fine.
He's never
Defensively, they're good enough.
right.
The running game, they're good enough.
The defense has fallen off. We've had some injuries on defense, but
Also, you caught Trevor Lawrence at a hell of a time.
yeah. But Dak's never been lazy with the ball. Like, he's always been pretty solid. Like, his interception numbers
He's got
are
11 picks in 9 games.
I know. I'm saying until this year, like, his interception numbers
Right.
are always low until this year, and he's just trying to throw it at every
let's just hope
spot.
he breaks his streak of 4 games.
I think he's four straight and
With a
6 out of
pick.
8.
Yeah,
And
he's got to break that streak.
Leads the league in picks since week 9, I think. It's disgusting. I hate turnovers.
Every time I buy into your Cowboys, your damn Cowboys, man. Every time I buy in, they just. I never do it. This is my first year really sort of believing in them.
At least I never do, so I never get let down.
Nice sweater.
I mean, the sweater's nice, but I've never bought in. I've never been like, oh, we've got a team that can do it this year. Because this happens at the end of every year. December, January. We've never seen it February, but December and January, it blows up in our faces.
Okay.
Hey, Kenny.
It's depressing.
Since I'm getting sad over here, flip us into our next segment.
Yeah, we got a new segment. We got 2 new segments we're going to add to the program each week. And the boys are ready. They are prepared. I am
Christmas movie draft.
I am straight stealing this idea from TikTok. So just to put it out there, I saw this on TikTok, thought it was awesome, and I am stealing it for Bluff City Media. So this is a top 5 list We're going to be doing a top 5 list in a draft style format every single week. And so basically the rules are the guys are going to give their top 1, top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, but their lists cannot overlap. They cannot have.
We have rounds.
We have rounds of it. So the way it's going to go first is Gabe is going to go top 1 first.
Why is Gabe going first?
Because Gabe is really, really good looking.
Hey,
Because
Siri.
who would win in a fight? I think that's how it
Hey,
is.
Siri, flip a coin.
No. It's too late. It's
Call
too late.
it.
No, too late. I'm first.
Okay.
So Gabe is going to go first, then Christian. Then Christian will have the second round to go first. His top 2 or top 5. No, so it's going to go 5 down to. I'm tripping.
1 to 5.
I'm messing it up now.
Come on.
1 to 5.
There we go. Yes.
So then Chris. So every person will flip back and forth on who
So it's a
starts that
snake?
round. It's a
So
snake.
snake. Oh, so I get back-to-back picks. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Well, no.
All right.
I don't know. Let's just work
Is it
it out.
snake or linear? Like, am I getting back-to-back picks? Like
No, it's not
Yes.
snake.
Yes. You're going to get back-to-back
Oh,
picks.
damn it, snake.
You're going to get back-to-back picks. Thank you. Yes.
Come on.
No, let's just go. You just want to go tit for tat. I'll let you pick.
Let's go
since
back
you're
and
so
forth.
good looking.
It doesn't matter. Oh, thanks, brother.
All right.
Thanks,
So
brother.
this
So no
is
snake. We're just going linear.
Linear.
Back and forth. You're 1, my 1.
Christian
2, my
changes
2.
the rules up on me as we go. This is awesome. All right. So top 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time, Gabe.
All right. This is what I'm going to do because I think, for my generation, this movie just encapsulated the family Christmas scene. And I know it's going to be basic, but in these situations, if I'm going for a number 1 overall pick, you got to go with Old Reliable. I'm going with Christmas Vacation.
It's a good one.
That is a great pick.
That's solid. That's definitely on my list, but now it's taken. Okay, I'm going to go old school. One of the first Christmas movies I remember watching. I watch it every year, and it just makes me feel like Christmas. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Not Jim Carrey. Great movie. The animated, OG
Okay,
animated.
so how are we doing this then? Are they separate? The Grinch?
Huh?
I think if he picks the Grinch, the whole series of Grinch is
Okay,
gone.
all right. That's beautiful.
So the animated version of the Grinch.
Yes, like
Love
I
it.
think it's like
Why wouldn't you go
1967.
with the Jim Carrey?
I love the Jim Carrey one, but man, the animated
Okay.
one just has like the nostalgia hit for me, and it like brings me back to like being a 5-year-old on Christmas. So I'm going animated How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh gosh, like if I could go with Jim Carrey, Grinch, can I do this?
No.
Can I do it? Can we?
I
come
don't know.
on.
Kenny's like the
Because
ref.
he made
He's
it
the
very
ref.
clear.
No, the series is over.
Okay,
No
all
more
right.
Grinch.
Then I'm gonna go with what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go with another OG 1950s. We're gonna have to throw it all the way back. We're gonna go with Rudolph. Rudolph, the claymation.
the
Rudolph.
claymation?
So good. You're crazy.
I hate the
It's
claymation.
OG, man. OG.
I hate the claymation movies. They freak me out. They freaked me out since I was a little kid. I've never watched any of those claymation Christmas movies in full because they freaked me out when I was a kid. So horrible second round pick. You
you-
could have taken that in the 5th round
You
and it
need
would
to
have still been available.
Okay, all right.
This is a Hasheem the Beat
Do
type.
you need to get protected from
This is a-
claymation?
This is
Are
a
you
Hasheem
okay?
the Beat type.
That
pick
was
for,
a Hasheem Thabit pick right there. Okay. Round 2 for me. A newer one, but a freaking classic. Vince Vaughn, 4 Christmases.
Oh, you stink.
Yes.
That's a good one, isn't it, Kenny?
That's
All
a
right.
great one.
All right, now, okay, you went 4 Christmases. All right, this is gonna be very simple then. I'm gonna go with a newer one.
Don't take mine.
Hilarious.
Oh, don't do it.
Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay. We're
What
good.
are we talking
We're good.
about?
We're good. That's
Give
not
me
where I was
Elf.
going. Okay.
Give me Elf.
Okay, he's got Elf.
Elf at number 3.
Oh man. Okay, so I've got a couple that I really want. I'm taking this one. I'm prefacing this. So this is a 3rd round pick, right? So we're going potential. Listen, hear me out. We're going.
This is the upside play.
athletic.
This is the
Upside.
athletic upside. May not be a player right now, but could be in a few years type guy.
G League 2-way
Yeah.
contract.
No,
Yeah.
not that far. Come on, they're talking about NFL 3rd round. The NBA don't have a 3rd round. No G League. We're
okay.
talking like maybe gets in midway through his rookie year.
Okay.
But anyway, in my humble opinion, the funniest Christmas movie of all time, bar none, one of the funniest movies of all time, Seth Rogen, The Night Before.
That's a shame to beat.
That is not.
I don't
Have you
don't
seen it?
even.
To be.
I don't.
Have you seen it?
Hold on.
That's a shame to me.
I've never even
That's-
heard.
Have you ever seen
That's
it?
Johnny Manziel.
Have
right
you
there.
ever seen it?
Dog?
Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, then you can't say anything about it.
Well, then how?
Go watch it.
Okay, whatever.
You watch it. You watch it.
All right.
And then you call me tomorrow and you say,
I like Seth Rogen, so
I'm
I'll probably
sorry.
like it.
Joseph
Is
Gordon,
it funny?
Joseph Gordon, dude,
Hilarious?
it is freaking hilarious.
All right. So I am with my 4th round pick. Gonna go with one that's slept on.
Okay.
I'm gonna go very, very slept on, and folks, it's hilarious. And I know it's probably before your time, honestly. This movie, just by a little bit.
Okay.
Kenny, I wonder what you think about this. I want your serious opinion on
I
this.
got you.
Give me Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
John Candy.
Yep. And Steve Martin.
Ooh.
Can I be honest?
A little huff.
I don't like that movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Whatever.
Not a big John Candy fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
He's
sorry.
the original fat guy.
I know.
He's the original.
What are we
fact.
talking about?
We're
on.
like we should be like brothers in arms
He's the
over here.
original
But
fat guy.
yeah.
Oh man, now I'm in a crunch now. But I think I know where I'm going.
Y'all have some powerful movies that you have not picked in this.
Oh,
draft.
we know. I mean, I know there are, but I think I'm gonna take a powerhouse off the board in round 4. Is that where we're at? We got
Round 4.
Round 4.
round 4. Another one that I loved as a kid. Everybody used to watch it in school every year.
Yep.
Great movie. Little Tom Hanks vibe. Little Polar Express.
Oh,
You don't
are
like?
you kidding me? I love that movie.
Okay,
dude.
okay.
You don't like Polar
Gabe obviously
Express?
I mean,
Okay.
it's fine.
Gabe.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Bro,
It's okay.
that movie is so fire.
It's okay.
That's such a sleeper. That's a Desmond Bain
It's okay.
like
I mean, it's
pick
fine.
in the.
It's cool, guys.
Okay, where are you
Fire.
going? Where are you going? Last pick. Where are you going?
I have 2 in mind here, and one's a series. So I couldn't pick Grinch, Jim Carrey.
You're gonna take the series off the board.
I don't know. It's either a rom-com or a series.
Go rom-com.
I
Switch it
think
up.
I think that's where I was going to go with this. Give me The Holiday. Give me The Holiday.
Which one was
Carmen
that?
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz.
Diaz?
My bad. Carmen Diaz.
Is that the one with
is that
Jack
Jack
Black?
Black?
Jack Black.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
solid.
Good
That's
rom-com.
solid.
That's my wife's That's my wife's favorite.
Polygamy.
That's my wife's one of her favorite movies is The Holiday. Yeah,
It's a good one.
It's a good
Very
one.
good
That's
one.
solid. Okay, I've got a couple.
Little House Swap.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Little Jude
movie.
Law.
Oh, great.
Yeah, little Jude Law action.
Great stuff.
There's probably more I could go here.
Kate
but
Winslet. Is that the
Kate
other?
Winslet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
who
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Good movie. Good choice.
Come on.
I think I have to take it now. Like I think I don't really want to take it, but I think I got to take it. And I'm not even gonna. Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
And I'm not even gonna say Home Alone. I'm gonna say Home Alone 2.
Really?
Home Alone- the scene, the robber scene
Is
in
that
the house.
is that Lost in New York?
Yeah,
Yes.
Lost in New York. Yes.
Okay.
The robber scene in the house is the funniest.
In the first one.
in the second one.
Oh, yeah,
In the
yeah.
New York is
Yeah.
one of the funniest. Like 5 minutes. Like even today at 40, almost 2 years old, I
Joe Pesci.
fall over laughing at Daniel Stern. He
Yeah.
is one of the funniest.
Very good actor.
How was Joe Pesci like an old school tough guy? He's like 4'2".
Yeah. I don't know.
How did that happen?
Quentin Tarantino.
Don't you say that to his face, bro? Jeez. he
I'd
would-
have to look down.
Okay, so Gabe, my list was I don't remember. Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas animated, numero uno.
I think that's a trash pick, personally.
That's fine.
Jim Carrey took it away.
That's fine. 4 Christmases, I think, was number 2.
It's a great pick.
Thank you. What was my third? Oh, The Night Before. Neither one of you have ever seen it, so you can't really comment on it. Polar Express and Home Alone 2.
I got Christmas Vacation, OG, Rudolph, Claymation, 3 Elf, 4 Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and 5 The Holiday.
All right, this is the final part of this. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
And neither one
Just
of y'all
no.
chose a Christmas. I mean, It's a Wonderful
do that.
Life.
I've never even seen it.
Almost worse than Die Hard is a Christmas movie or the Harry Potter is a Christmas movie, people.
Yeah.
Those are the worst.
I've never heard Harry Potter.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
out
thing.
there.
It's a thing.
out there.
What movie
No.
did you say?
just happens to take place during
What
Christmas.
movie did he do?
certain...
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's like 1953, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't.
Jimmy Stewart's one of the best actors of all.
1953 off top. You just
That was impressive.
well done.
I'm a movie guy, man.
Okay.
Even
Well,
if
this
I haven't
is-
seen 'em.
Anything I need to watch?
Yeah, the night before.
Okay.
Please.
All right. I was talking about like
And Polar Express again.
2022. Anything you've watched recently?
No, these
if you're a movie guy.
yeah, movies this year have been kind of.
Okay.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
Haven't seen it yet.
Oh, man. Christian, what did you think about that one?
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, my gosh.
Not a Top Gun guy, personally.
Sounds like you're not as much of a movie buff.
No,
as
I
you're
really-
making me.
I really-
don't know.
No, like, for
I
real.
don't know, Kenny. You
I
be the
am.
call. You be the judge here.
I am. I've always been a big movie guy, but I am picky. Like I will say, like I am picky about movies. Like,
Okay.
I'm not a movie snob, but
All right.
if I'm not feeling it, then I'm not feeling it.
What's the actor that y'all would, if he's in a movie, you go see, or she's in a movie, you go see
Ooh,
immediately? Like, no questions asked. Don't even need to know the plot. You just go.
I like Leo. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That hands down.
I like
Hands
Leo.
down.
And I
down.
know that's so basic
Hey,
though.
I don't care. I don't
It's
care.
kind of a lame answer.
Leonardo DiCaprio is the GOAT. There's no debate in my mind on that.
Oh, gosh, I mean that's I'm not gonna argue with
But you know what's funny about me? Like
but
this
that's such
shows,
a basic answer. Though.
but this shows that I'm picky about movies. My least favorite Leo movie is The Titanic.
okay.
Blood Diamond's my favorite.
Blood Diamond's really good. The
Yep.
Departed, really good.
Departed.
Inception, really good. What's the newer one with Brad Pitt?
Once Upon a Time.
Once
in
Upon a
LA.
Time in Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Wonderful movie.
Fantastic.
What's the one where he played the scout? The
scout?
the Indian. His son.
With the bear.
Yeah, with the bear.
He was in Catch Me If
man.
You Can too, right?
Catch Me If You Can
Great
with Tom
movie.
Hanks. Great movie. What's the freaking movie he's talking about called though?
Um,
The Revenant. The
Revenant.
Oh, yeah.
Good movie.
He got
We're missing.
tore up.
We're missing plenty too. Like
we
I
will.
know.
But
I
yeah.
know. There's
mean,
other
it's-
good ones.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio. He's
Oh,
been in a few.
freaking Shutter Island.
Oh,
Great movie.
that's great.
Mark Ruffalo,
Good one.
Leo.
It's a great one.
Dude, really good. I remember the first time I watched that movie.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
So the next time we're gonna have a show, guys, is at the start of 2023. We're gonna be doing a show. We're not gonna be in the studio because we got some boys that are gonna be on vacation, but have said, you know what?
Together.
We're gonna take our equipment. And we're gonna do a podcast from San Diego.
Yes.
Saint Domingo.
I'll tell you what it translates to when I'm there.
Yes, thank you,
I'll let you know.
thank you, Ron.
I'll
So-
let you know.
I want to know what are for your sports teams or for whatever you want to. What are your sports New Year's, not resolutions but wishes? Your sports. Give me two of them. Sports New Year wishes
Sports New Year's wishes for ourselves or
for yourself.
For ourselves.
Gabe
You go
doesn't-
ahead
Gabe
with that
doesn't have
Cowboys
a sports team.
Yeah, I do. I have a sports team.
the Colorado Buffaloes.
All right, come on.
Yes,
come
I
on.
do have a sports
Come on,
team.
say
It's
you
been
want
the
the
Buffaloes.
Cowboys. Say you want a Cowboys Super Bowl.
No, I would never say that. The furthest I'll take is the NFC Championship. If I just saw us go to not even win, if I just saw us go to an NFC Championship,
It's a Christmas wish, bro.
we've never been in my life. We've never been to the NFC Championship.
Okay.
Haven't made it past the divisional round. So if we just went to an NFC Championship, that would be awesome. What else?
Here's mine. I want the Lions to make the playoffs. 7-7 right
I
now.
like that.
They have 3 games left with games that they're supposed to go win, that they're going to be favored
Yeah.
in.
Dan
Win those
Campbell.
last 3.
What
get the
a
7 seed, 6 seed.
turnaround of a season.
And
Dan
handle
Campbell
yourself.
fires me up. I think
Oh
we
my
said that.
God,
I think we
dude.
said that
He
already.
gets my chili hot. I'll tell you
Okay.
what.
I would run through that tiger painting for Dan Campbell for sure.
Don't run through this.
I'm
tiger.
sorry, Kenny, but if he fired me up enough, I'd go straight through that tiger painting. I
Keith
swear.
Stubblefield would be upset right now.
Yeah,
if
he
you
would.
heard that.
The OG K Stubb would not be happy with me.
So I'm rocking with Dan Campbell and the Lions.
I like that. For my second one, I know what Kenny's is. Kenny's is something about the Grizzlies for sure. Just a.
I want to see John Jones fight.
Oh.
I want to see John Jones actually
great
get back
one.
in the ring
Dang it.
and fight
That's a great one.
I wish I would have thought about that.
Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
That's
that's
who
a
I
great
want to
one.
see him fight.
That's a great one.
I
Yeah.
need John Jones back in the UFC.
Super fan. Yeah, super fan. Also the GOAT. A lot of GOATs tonight. John Jones is the GOAT.
And no debate, by the way,
No.
too. I get tired when people do
It's not even close. Sorry, Anderson.
It's not
Sorry,
close.
anybody else you want to bring
Sorry,
up?
sorry.
Sorry.
Volkanowski.
When people try to say Khabib,
Sorry, Khabib.
Sorry,
what,
Khabib.
man? Come on.
You fought 10 times in the UFC.
Dude's title defense. How many title defenses do you have? It's like double
2,
anybody else.
4.
No, I'm talking about
Khabib
John
had,
Jones.
John Jones had like 12.
It's ridiculous.
He fought for title. Come on, man.
No, that's a good one. That's a
And
really
I
good
want to
one.
see. And here's my second wish.
All right.
I want to see everything righted in the UFC. I want to see
thought-
Israel Adesanya back in his rightful throne.
Ooh.
And I want to see Kamaru Usman back in his throne. Those two guys deserve. They're the best in the world, and they
Yeah.
deserve to be champions.
Yeah.
All this bullshit. Get them back in their rightful thrones.
Dana White's nasty, man.
I love
Dana White's what? Really? You like Dana?
Yes. Yes. He tells it like it
Nasty,
is.
man. He's nasty.
How's he nasty?
Golly.
Kamaru Usman got head kick KO'd.
He did Francis Ngannou wrong.
He
with
ain't
all
done.
that.
Francis needs to fight, bro. Come in and fight.
Dana.
Stop. You won one fight and got a championship, and now you're acting like you're going to come in and beat Tyson
Dana
Fury
threw
in
Nate-
boxing. Come on.
Dana threw Nate back out there. Nate Diaz, like he was not.
Nate took the fight. He's a grown man.
Nate didn't want. Nate want to be. He wants to be done with the UFC, man. He threw him
He
out there.
took
That's
the fight.
insane.
He took the fight.
All right, we both
Not a
gotta
Dana
get,
guy.
We both got to get one more. You got another one?
Yeah, I do.
All right, send it.
I want the Tigers to finish with the best recruiting class in the AAC.
Strong.
I think that's very simple. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I think they're going to do that.
Are they there right
I
now?
think they're there right now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want them to keep that.
I kind of want to win a fantasy Super Bowl. That'd be nice.
Come on, that didn't count.
That doesn't count?
No one cares about your fantasy team, dude.
I mean, I do.
Christian's like, I don't care if you do. I do.
I really don't. Honestly, I made the playoffs, finished as the 1 seed. I really don't care because I'm not in the losers bracket, and I don't have to take 55 paintballs to the back. So,
Oh, y'all are savage.
yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah. At least I don't have to do that.
Okay.
So,
Good Lord.
what's another one?
Who's the poor soul that has to do that?
That's brutal.
Don't know
man.
yet. Losers bracket's going on right now.
Nasty as hell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We've done full body wax, butt tattoo.
No.
now 55 paintballs to the back.
Y'all got some
What was
real-
it? Was it a chosen butt tattoo? Ass tattoo?
Chosen? What do you mean
Like,
chosen?
did y'all choose it, or is it somebody just on the spot gets to choose whatever they want?
No, we get to choose.
So what, is it just like fantasy football loser? Or was it?
No,
something-
he hasn't done
it's
it
like
yet.
a Ninja Turtle
He
or
hasn't
something.
done it yet,
Like,
but it's an inside joke from a bachelor trip we went on. But he's got to get Hobo Slayer on his butt cheek.
Oh no.
Okay.
Christian, let's not talk about that anymore.
Okay.
That
All right. I'll just leave
there
that
might
there
be
then.
some
I'll leave it there.
there might be some arrest warrants out on that story.
No arrest warrants. I can't really think of a second one.
Come on, dude.
I don't know.
There's gotta be something.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm at a loss. I think I'll use both of mine on the Cowboys making it.
That's legal.
That is illegal. That's,
Use both of my
that's
wishes
legal.
on the Cowboys making it to the conference championship and call that good. But as
Micah
much,
Parsons, Defense Player of the Year.
No, I don't think he's there.
Him,
kinda-
him and Bosa.
He's kind of fallen off the last few weeks. Hadn't done much
He had a sack last week.
this
Kinda-
week.
This
Yeah.
week. Kind of ugly, though.
Yeah, he
Couple
hasn't been great.
tackles. He hadn't done much. It's him and Bosa, though. I think Bosa took the lead, though.
Yeah, I think Bosa definitely took the lead, but we shall see. So yeah, that wraps it up for me, fellas. Anything else? For
I'm
you?
all good.
Hey, Merry Christmas,
Merry
man.
Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas to
Merry Christmas to
everybody.
you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll see y'all. We'll see y'all when I see y'all, man.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas to you fellas. I'm sure y'all have a great time with the family.
Yeah.
First Christmas as an engaged man for
Yep. Sure is.
one Gabriel Kuhn.
Sure is. Yep.
I don't even know if your real name is Gabriel. I just like
It is.
calling
It
you
is.
Gabriel.
It's Gabriel.
Okay.
Gabriel.
Yeah, that works.
Yep.
Um,
Hate when people say Gabrielle or oh, it pisses me off.
Gabriel.
Who calls
No,
you
Gabriel's
Gabrielle?
fine.
Who
No,
would
like
look
when
at-
people accidentally.
Who would look at you and
Gabrielle.
call you Gabrielle?
I don't know. I mean, you know, like it's more like when professors or teachers in school were calling names first day of class.
I got called Christina pretty often.
Frustrating, man.
My last name is Stubblefield. I don't want to get into this.
Okay.
I got called Flower a lot, like very often. Dyslexia is a problem in this country, so Flower comes out a lot. But anyway, Merry Christmas to these guys. Merry Christmas to everybody watching, everybody joining us. Just want to continue to thank you. This has been a freaking blast. As always, I think we have so much fun doing this, so we hope you guys are enjoying it, because I know us three and everybody involved over at Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are loving it, loving the support we're getting from you guys. So just continue to support us, whether that be on social media, on Twitter, just following us, giving us a like. I think we put out some pretty quality news on there. Also, the website, bluffcitynil.com. We're pumping out articles at a pretty good pace right now. We got a great team full of writers that are hungry, putting out content, putting out different stuff pretty much on a daily basis. So check that out. Podcasts, videos for all the podcasts have been awesome. Old Trey and TJ with the Tigers Untapped have been awesome as always. Appreciate those guys and everything they do. I think we all enjoy their content. They're a lot of fun, especially their sweet potato argument this past weekend or this past week. So go check out their stuff and just continue to stay tuned, because we got big things coming, and we will see you back here digitally next week and in studio in 2 weeks. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to www.bluffcitynil.com, where you will find comprehensive coverage of Tiger athletics and how you can become a contributor. We'll see you back here next week.